Welcome back, guys. It is Gamer Nate, and today I'm going to be doing another drug related video, this time on Mdma, or like otherwise known as ecstasy. I'm pretty sure you all have heard of a drug called ecstasy, the one that makes you really fucking euphoric. And I'm going to be talking about the first time I ever did ecstasy, and it was a lot better than I anticipated, let's put it that way. It's probably the best drug in terms of like euphoria and like happiness and shit like that, and it's probably the best party drug in the world. And so let's just get right into. Oh, actually, disclaimer. Before I do say anything about this drug, this is just for entertainment purposes. I never did this drug, which I did actually do this drug. But if the police are watching, then I didn't do this drug. If that makes sense. Big disclaimer out of the way. Let's get into the video. So the first time I did MDMA, basically you get loads of different like little like MDMA and ecstasy. So it's the same. I think ecstasy is where it has caffeine put into it and other like little chemicals, like other stuff like that. But MDMA is just like it's MDMA. I don't really know like the whole science behind it, but MDMA, they sort of have the same effect, except ecstasy, I think it's a bit more like, it makes you a bit, I think it's just a bit better because it's got lots of caffeine added into it. And if you don't know what caffeine is, it's what's in coffee in it that makes you really energetic. So I think that's just that tad little better if you take ecstasy rather than MDMA. But all that shit aside, what it is basically like you get different pills of ecstasy and MDMA. So like the ones we had were Legos, which are like green, which were okay. They're probably the worst ones actually, but like I still had like a fucking sick kick out of it. I got like an amazing buzz out of it. And then you have like the best ones, I think, are called like orange Teslas or purple Teslas, or there's these ones called Supremes, which are like probably the best ones. But for one pill it only costs about £10, and the Supreme pills, they cost about £50 because they're that good. It like, maybe it's the equivalent to taking like 5 shit ones, I don't know. But I took one Lego, that's all it took for me. Me and my mate go and get it off the dealer. We take half at first, and it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to kick in, and I didn't really feel anything. That's the sort of the thing with MDMA, like you have a come up and a come down, and I just felt like a sense of intoxication. I could feel like sort of something building, but it was building for like an hour, and it didn't kick in till like an hour and 45 minutes. So about an hour into it, when I started feeling it a tidgy bit, I started feeling like an energy build up in me. I thought, oh, you know what, fuck it, I might as well just take the other half. It's taking ages to kick in. So then an hour and 5 minutes into it, like literally 5 minutes after I took the other one, boom, it just fucking clicked, bro. I was mental. I was off my fucking face. We had this like, I did it at my mate's, if you're wondering where I did it, because he had a free house and his mum was in work and his dad works in London. And we went there and we took the pills at about, I literally finished work at 11 o'clock, and my mate said, yo, do you want, it was really spontaneous how it just sort of came about. He said, yo, do you want to do a pill tonight? And I was like, yeah, sure, what pills have you got? And he said, well, we've got green Legos, which aren't the best, but, you know, they'll still get you going. So I literally bombed it from work as I was on my bike. I finished work at 11, and I got to my mate's house, and he lives about, it's about a half-hour walk away, but because I was on my bike and I bombed it there, it took about 15 minutes, and I was there at 11:15, and we probably dropped the pills literally as soon as I got there, so we probably dropped them at about 20 past. I got a drink, swallowed the pill, and then we waited about an hour. Didn't really kick in. I mean, I felt like a sense of intoxication, like I said. I could feel like something building up. He could as well. And then we both just sort of looked at each other as we had like this music playing, and we were like, oh, fuck it, we'll just take the other half and see if it kicks in then. And then boom, it just whacked us both like a train. And then it was like an hour and 5 minutes into the thing, and it started like clicking. It started just like getting us up and going, and we put this like MDMA playlist on YouTube, and it was about 4 hours long. And then I remember like just like 5 minutes after dropping like the other half of the pill, I had one all in all. I could just, I don't know what happened, like I was sort of sat on the couch, and then I started feeling it. I started getting really confident. All my inhibitions started going. I started just dancing in front of my mate. Like I started getting up and clicking, and we were just like when you're on MDMA, you can't control yourself. You just like, you have to get up and dance, especially if there's music playing. And we were just clicking our fingers for about an hour, and I couldn't stop clicking, and I just couldn't stop clicking. And then my hands started to get really sweaty because like I kept on clicking, and obviously they were getting sweaty because like my body's trying to get rid of this drug, because it's not natural, is it? Because like if you ever take like LSD or MDMA or something, it's like a toxic chemical in it, and it's synthetic basically, which means it's like man-made. So your body's trying to get rid of the drug, so you're dead sweaty. And I remember like clicking my hands for about an hour, and they got that sweaty I couldn't even hear them clicking anymore, because it was just like there was like water dripping off my hands. They were that sweaty. And then we went into the kitchen. We went to get a drink, and then this is when we sort of like, this was like an hour into the actual, I won't call it a trip. I just say we were wired, so I just call it an hour into the wired fucking sesh, I don't know. And so about an hour into it, like an hour, so like it kicked in after an hour and a half, so probably about 2 hours and 5 minutes after it, like, you know, 2 hours and 5 minutes into the actual wired sesh, we went and got a drink, and then we sat down for a bit. We brought the phone in with, we brought the iPad in with us, because we were using my mate's iPad to play the music on. And then everything started shaking, like, everything just started, so we got a drink, we sat down, we were talking a bit, just like, oh, this is sick, this, mate, we've got to do this at Leeds and all that shit. And, basically, like, everything just started, like, going, like, everything just started shaking horizontally from side to side. And then, I don't know if you've ever heard, but, like, some people can actually trip on it, because MDMA is a psychedelic, and a psychedelic is, like, a mind-altering drug. Most drugs are. But it basically, like a psychedelic makes you, it expands your consciousness, and then you can sort of, like, LSD, you can have a trip on it, so you can start seeing shit. And my mate said he was tripping, like, he could start seeing patterns and shit. But I wouldn't necessarily say I was tripping. I suppose I was sort of, like, greening out. And if you don't know what greening out is, it's just where you're sort of, like, going under a bit. It's like, whoa. It's just like, whoa. If you ever, like, got really high and you sort of go under and you're just like, whoa. Everything's just like, whoa, what is going on? And it was sort of like that on MDMA. Like, everything was shaking from side to side. Everything was sort of floating, it looked like. And everything, like, had this, like, sort of, like, weird shadow thing to it. Like, everything, like, had a shadow on, obviously, because the light was on. But it just looked like the shadow was moving, and it was getting bigger and bigger and stretching out, and it just sort of looked like everything was, like, really stretched, and everything just looked like a bit too abnormally big and a bit too abnormally small. Like, size, I couldn't really comprehend size, if that makes sense. And I've actually heard stories of that happening to people on like ketamine, and I started thinking to myself, like, shit, have I actually, maybe this is, like, got mixed, like, maybe Ket got mixed in with this or something, because stuff like that can actually happen. And I remember I couldn't, like, differentiate, like, what was small and what was big, and I couldn't comprehend size, and everything started sounding a bit, like, weird and echoey. It was like I was tripping off MDMA. But the weirdest thing was probably the how everything was sort of shaking and floating. And my mate sort of was tripping, but he was tripping more like he was sort of singing shit, whereas me, I just couldn't really comprehend anything. Like, I couldn't really comprehend, like, size. I couldn't really predict what was big, what was small. I couldn't really hear properly. Everything was just, like, a bit shaking, a bit echoey, and everything actually looked like it was shaking, and it was stretching out and getting bigger, and like I said, I couldn't comprehend size. And then after a few moments, that was probably going on for about half hour, and we were just literally listening to music and sort of, like, getting a rhythm going like that on our legs, patting our legs. And then about half hour after this had passed, so this is like 3 hours nearly into the trip now, like about 2 hours and 45 minutes or so. And then we started like just talking shit to eat. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Like, for the rest of the trip, for the rest of the wired sesh, we were just literally talking nonsense for each other. We were literally just talking about what were we talking about now? We were because, like, we did MDMA because we were gonna go Leeds, and this was about like 2 months before Leeds. So we thought, oh, fuck it, like, this was the first time I ever did MDMA as well. So I wanted to see what it was like just before I went to Leeds. So then I was talking to him about, like, oh yeah, this is going to be sick at Leeds. Leeds is going to be amazing. Like, the festival Leeds, if you don't know what Leeds is, it's like a festival, like a massive festival in Reading, Leeds. And it's just where everyone goes and gets out the nut, like, pilled out the face and just off the drugs and everything, off the face on everything. And we were literally just talking about this for about 2.5 hours for the rest of the sesh. And we had that, it was so sick. Like, we were just sort of raving to music and talking at the same time. It was fucking wicked. And then I'm trying to think what else happened when we were wired. What else happened? I remember, like, we started, like, experimenting with dancing. Like, we started, like, so, like, we were dancing, but we were sort of dancing in the same sort of position, like, all night. Like, we were dancing for like 4.5 hours just straight, like, just dancing in the sort of same, we just kept the same rhythm going, and we had the same playlist going, and we put like psytrance on. And if you don't know what psytrance on is, it's basically what you listen to when you're, like, tripping on acid, and it's like something weird like that. And we put that on, and then we just started like really experimenting, like, and if you're on MDMA, like, everything feels dead weird, and everything, like, tastes dead disgusting. Like, when you eat something, it tastes like cardboard. So I got a banana, and I actually had to put it in the bin because it tasted so disgusting. And then we were sort of, like, dancing to this, like, psytrancey music, and I started, like, because my mate has a red rug, like a red like rug on his floor, I started feeling the rug. I was like do 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 do, but I was going along with a beat as I was feeling the carpet. It was like do 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 do, and I kept on singing in my head like that to myself, and I was feeling the carpet, and it just felt, I was feeling the rug, and it just felt amazing. It sort of felt like it just, it was like I just couldn't let go of the rug. I was just there like scraping the rug for like 5 minutes, and my mate was just like, Nay, what are you doing? And I was just like, what? Like, come here, Stan, feel this rug with me. Come here. Like, I said to my mate, because my mate, I said to him, like, just come here and feel the rug. Oh, you'll know what I mean. It feels amazing. And he was like, Nay, what are you talking about? It doesn't feel amazing at all. But he was saying this to me as he was just, like, feeling the rug. I was just like, what do you mean it doesn't feel amazing? You're still feeling the rug, aren't you? And 5 minutes later, he was saying the same thing, like, Nay, what are you talking about? This rug don't feel nice. And he was saying this as he was still feeling the rug. He was like contradicting himself, like, Stan, what do you mean it don't feel amazing? You're feeling the rug still, like, you're like, oh, it was just hilarious. And he kept on saying, like, the rug, if you sort of know what I mean, like, he was saying it don't feel nice, but he was like touching the rug for 5 minutes. It was funny. But that was the first time I got wired out my face on MDMA or ecstasy. If you did like, please drop a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and share this video to get me bigger on YouTube. And until next time, guys, peace.